It's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a footpod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a footpod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a footpod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a footpod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb, and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Stage 6 of Tour of Zwift. If we get this done today, that will be Tour of Zwift completed. So let's get going. I am in my kit. Hello Clive Finnemore, hello Nick Dumbleton, Tina Beard, Lee Walker. Lee Walker's joining us for a few kilometres. Thank you, Lee. Good to have you with us. Amy Green, Jeff Partridge, John Farrell, Stig, hello. Hi guys. Thanks for joining us. 10 kilometres. We're going to go 10 kph. Does anybody fancy upping it 0.2 every kilometre? Anyone interested in that? Only 0.2, so the fastest we would get to is 11.8, I think. I don't know if anyone's interested in that. Tina's doing her own thing. Yeah, Tina says she's doing short strides. So yeah, let Tina do her thing. Jeff Partridge might be up for increasing the speed by 0.2 every kilometre. So right then, me and Jeff will do that. If anyone wants to follow along and join us, do that. I haven't put my heart rate on, so I need to do that and then catch up. Which is annoying, but necessary. So, here we go. Let's see how far behind I go. Oh, shouldn't be too far behind. That's good. Darren Van Ditz joined us. Hello, Darren. Good to have you with us. We are watching chat, by the way, so I am looking at chat over there on the left. So if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube or Twitch, then you can drop something in the chat and I will say hello. I have had salmon and couscous for dinner. Salmon and couscous for my dinner today. Hopefully, no, you don't want to see my salmon again. Amy says, have I had a good day? I have. Tina Beard's had a pot noodle for her dinner. Now, Tina, that isn't very healthy. Today, Jeff Partridge has mostly been caning his credit card on his third entry for the spine next year. So, once again, Jeff will be punishing himself trying to finish 268 miles of the Pennine Way next year. I've had a very productive day, Amy. So, this morning, I wrote an article for Noble Pro on how to use your Noble Pro treadmill and the Kinney app with Zwift. So I spent the morning writing that, and I've spent the afternoon writing a YouTube script for a video about the different the different running shoes that I wear. Just going over the reasons why I wear different pairs of running shoes. So that was my day, very productive. A writing day. Today was a writing day, not a video editing day, not really a running day. This is my first and only run of the day. Right, what Tina says? What does Tina say? Oh, brilliant. Right, I said I've written an article today on how to use Kinney with Zwift. And Tina says, should I have not have written that? As in, basically, Tina helps me out when I have any problems with Kinney and Zwift. It's Tina I call. So maybe she should have written it. Yeah, Tina, you would have done a better job. You would have done a better job, it has to be said. Anthony Anderson says, good evening, enjoy your run, thank you very much. Stig says, did you make it? In relation to... Nick Dumbleton says, evening all, 5k group for me tonight. Last stage to complete. I must have said something that I've forgotten. And Stig said, did you make it? Stig, you'll have to repeat it. Oh, the dinner. Oh, I see. Reference last night. Well, I have to admit I didn't. I was busy writing, and no sooner had I finished than Victoria called, dinner's ready. So yeah, she did, 10.2, she did cook couscous and salmon for dinner. Clive Finnemore says Stephen only makes beans on toast. Clive, last night, what happened last night should remain with last night, to be honest, but I will explain. I was a bit of a chatterbox last night. I was talking quite a lot. and I needed to get my heart rate down. And I said, well, I'm going to be quiet for 5 minutes. And essentially everybody laughed their heads off and said, there's no way that you can be quiet for 5 minutes, which got my back up, if I'm honest. I was annoyed. It was rude, it was uncalled for, and frankly wrong. So I went out to prove the wrong, and I stayed silent and said, I'm going to be quiet now for 5 minutes. And nobody believed that I could do it. And they were all goading me, asking me questions like, Stephen, have you ever run a sub-3 marathon? And all this. And yeah, oh yes, it was entirely Stig's fault as well. And anyway, eventually, they all got so annoyed that I was successfully staying quiet that Victoria threatened, if I stayed quiet, that I would have to cook dinner every day for the rest of the week. And I was so close. I was so close to talking. I nearly gave up. But I managed to hold on for a stupendous 5 minutes of silence victory. I won. I beat them all. Everyone who was watching last night had no faith in me whatsoever. And I won. And so, in reference to that, Stig was asking if I cooked the dinner tonight because of last night. And I'm very grateful to say that I managed to get out of it again, and Victoria cooked salmon and couscous. Right, Mo Magic. Question to everyone. Is the HRM Pro Plus accurate for running on Zwift? No. No is the simple answer to that. Don't believe Raymaker. Raymaker is a perfectly lovely chap, and 99.9% of the time you should reliably believe everything he tells you about tech gear. However, on this occasion, he's wrong. He did a test of the HRM Pro Plus chest strap for running on Zwift, and he said it was perfectly okay. It isn't. It's rubbish. Don't use it. However, if it's the only thing you've got, then use it at your peril. John Farrell says the thing that did it for him last night was my rendition of the Ski Sunday theme tune, which rivaled Clive Finnemore's stag impression of the day before. Or was it lunchtime yesterday? So whenever Clive Finnemore did his stag impression, my rendition of the Ski Sunday theme tune I would say topped it. I would say it was a rival at least to that. Stig says, oh, don't start singing, the entire group will hate me. Okay, no, I won't sing today. I will not sing today. Clive says Stephen only makes beans on toast, and Anthony Anderson says, yeah, well, don't forget the Marmite, yes, and the grated cheese on top, and the black pepper on top of that. Okay, so tonight we've decided, or I have requested or suggested, that we do this run as a progressive run. So we started with the first kilometre at 10 kilometres an hour. And we've gone at 0.2 for this kilometre, and any minute now we're going to go up again. In fact, I could go up right now by another 0.2 because I am 5 or 6 seconds behind the gang. So let me just catch up with them. So yeah, I've done no running today, until tonight. To be honest, actually, let me just speed right up and catch the guys up. Just to get back on a par with the guys. Mo, let me reply to you in a second. Hang on. Just catching up to the back of them. Because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runners all together there, so we may as well join up. Tina Beard's about 50 seconds back, doing her short strides session. I did think about doing a short strides session this morning, but I decided on work instead and let my legs just recover a little bit more today. Right, we're nearly up to the back of the guys now. Thanks for the ride on, whoever's just dropped that. Appreciate it. John Farrell, thank you. Okay, back on the par with the guys. Right, let's have a look here. So, it's Mo Magic who was saying, is the HRM Pro Plus chest strap accurate for running on Zwift, which I said no to. And the reason being, says Mo, my stride is far out on Zwift. Hard reset, outside running, but still 2 kilometers per hour below treadmill speed. If I calibrate, speeds up to plus 2 kilometers per hour. Had it for nearly 2 years and given up. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that would have been the first thing I would have suggested, would be to calibrate the stride to Zwift. The other thing to look at really is your treadmill, because the stride isn't usually that far out. So Mo, what kind of treadmill do you have? Because is it an old treadmill? Is it a budget treadmill? Because it may well be that your treadmill is way below par and not functioning as well as it should, and the stride is just reflecting that. Your stride foot pod should really only be about 0.4, maybe 0.5 of a kilometer per hour slower than your treadmill speed. And really, you should be able to calibrate it so that it's a little bit more accurate than that. Now, I certainly wouldn't swap a stride for the HRM Pro. There's no way. A foot pod on your foot is always going to be more accurate than something around your chest or your wrist trying to measure your speed and distance. That's never going to work. Okay, Mo's treadmill is a budget JLL T450. I don't know the model, but if you say it's budget, my guess is that half of your problem is that your treadmill is not moving at the correct speed. Have you tried my video on how to measure your treadmill belt speed? That's the next thing to do. I know it's a pain in the backside, Mo, But the next thing to try is measuring the speed of your treadmill belt to see how far below accurate it is. I can explain a bit about how to do that. What you need to do is run for 1 minute on your treadmill, and let me show you my overhead camera. So, can you see the white mark that's going past my treadmill here on the belt there? So, if I count how many times that white mark goes past in a minute, and then write that number down. So you run on the treadmill, let's say at 10 kilometers an hour, and count how many times the mark on your treadmill passes by. And then you need to do a maths calculation. By the way, we're speeding up to 10.6 now. Then you need to do a maths calculation, which is in my video, to work out how fast your treadmill belt is actually moving. And it must be with you on it as well. Don't do it when you're not on the treadmill. Wayne says the TSS app is best for accuracy in my opinion. Just can't use the companion app with it. But it's bang on accurate. Well, I mean, obviously the reason it's bang on accurate is because it's not actually measuring how fast you're running. You're just randomly putting the number in. The TSS app is great as a starter tool. But I mean, of course, you could just stand off the treadmill. In fact, you could stop the treadmill entirely. You could stop the treadmill and get off the treadmill, and the TSS app is still going to transmit 10 kilometers an hour. So it's hard. I mean, it's not really accurate. It's just sending a random speed that you enter into Zwift. But it is a great tool if you've got nothing else that you can use. Right, I actually need to open the door because it's getting rather steamy and warm in here. Bear with me. Okay, the door is open. Goran says, it's impressive you did 10k after your cold. Oh, the Chichester 10k, yeah, thank you. I have a cold for 1 week, try to run slow, and HR jumps into the sky. Yes, I mean, I think my heart rate on that 10k was a little higher than I would have wanted it to be fair, but yeah, and I was a lot better on Sunday. I still didn't feel like I was 100%, but I certainly was much, much better than I had been 5 days before. Okay, yeah, Paul Hayward, that's a very good point. So, Mo, how are you connecting your Stride foot pod? Is it via Bluetooth or is it via Ant Plus? Because that may make a difference. Paul, what did you find was the most accurate? I would have said Bluetooth, but I don't know. It might have been different for you. It might have been Ant Plus for you. So Mo, try changing from Ant Plus to Bluetooth, or from Bluetooth to Ant Plus if you can. I know if you're on Apple TV or an iPad, then you don't really have a choice. It has to be Bluetooth. But if you can change to Ant Plus to see... Right, okay, so it has to be Bluetooth. Mo is on Apple TV, so it has to be Bluetooth. You can't use Ant Plus. But I would have said, for me, usually on Zwift it's Bluetooth, which is the best. So that sounds like a dead loss as well. Go with the plan of measuring the speed of your treadmill belt to see how far out your treadmill is, and then take it from there. Because there's not a lot you can do if it's your treadmill which is out. What would you say? Yeah, Paul Hayward says the smallest percentage error was with Bluetooth. Yes, I would agree with that. What would you say, Mo, is the difference in your times on the treadmill and outdoors? Are you able, in theory, to run faster on the treadmill than you are outdoors? So what's your 5k time on the treadmill? What's your 5k time outdoors? Just tell me what that is if you can. And in a second we'll be going up to 10.8. So these kilometers are flying by, aren't they? The kilometers are flying by. Okay, Mo says, by pure feel, the treadmill feels about the right marker. But what about your... So... if you were to... Say you were to run outside, and you were to run... Say you were to run 5 kilometres outdoors in 30 minutes. So you run outdoors for 30 minutes and you do 5k, and then you run on the treadmill for 30 minutes and you do 5k. Would your heart rate be lower when you were on the treadmill or higher? Yeah, so Wayne, who was talking about the TSS app earlier, he says, set it at the same speed as the treadmill, no cheating, but it keeps the same speed. Yes. I've got Zwift Foot Pod and Run Sensor, both rubbish in my opinion. Wayne, honestly, I agree with you. So the Zwift Pod and the Run Sensor, I agree, are pretty rubbish, as is the HRM strap, as is your watch on your wrist. The best option has always been the Stride Foot Pod, even though that's not great. I mean, at least the Stride Foot Pod is consistent. But yes, I mean, if you're, if all you want is a device that sends the speed that you've got on your treadmill to Zwift, then the TSS app is a great option. Obviously, the problem with that is if you're doing regular intervals, so if you're doing an interval session, you're constantly having to not only increase the speed and reduce the speed on your treadmill, but you would have to manually increase and reduce the speed on the TSS app as well. And if you've only got 30 seconds or a minute rest, you spend your entire rest period changing speeds on 2 different devices. That's the problem with the TSS app. But if you're just doing 1 hour, very steady at the same speed, perfectly fine. Yeah, Jeff Partridge, Tina Beard, both say smart treadmill all the way, and I would have to agree. The best way, if you can afford to get yourself a smart treadmill, that is the best way to connect to Zwift. Perfect. It will always speed up and always slow down in line with the treadmill and give you the exact same reading in Zwift that you have on your treadmill display. Paul Hayward says, my old treadmill was spot on. I still have it. too big to get it out of the room. I'll need to take it apart. Ah. Mo says, if I want to calibrate on Zwift, I have to be running at the lowest speed of 12 kph, even to get it to calibrate. Mo, it really sounds like your treadmill needs a service, or you need to ditch it and buy yourself a Noble Pro. That's what it sounds like to me. It doesn't sound like the stride is wrong. It sounds like the treadmill is wrong. I have to be honest. That's what I think. Tentacles. Hello, Tentacles. I'm 6'8", and the treadmill feels like running much faster and going at a slower pace than when I used to run outdoors. But moved to treadmill after an injury, so it's hard to judge. Yeah, it can be difficult to judge. I've always found the best way is heart rate. If you can keep your treadmill room cool, so as long as the temperature difference between running indoors and running outdoors is not massive, then the best way to judge these things is heart rate. Because then you can tell how hard you're working indoors and outdoors. So, like I said to Mo earlier, try running 5 kilometers outdoors in a certain time. So let's say either 20 minutes, 25 minutes, or half an hour. Whatever's comfortable for you. So let's say half an hour. So you run 5 kilometers in half an hour outdoors, and you look at what your average heart rate is. And then you run 5 kilometers in half an hour indoors on your treadmill, and again, you measure your heart rate. Now, if your heart rate is lower on the treadmill than outdoors, that suggests that you're not actually going as fast on the treadmill as you think you are. It suggests that your treadmill is running slightly slower than is true. Tina Beard says she feels both are pretty much the same, indoors and outdoors. Amy says, I love my treadmill, I'd be lost without it. But Amy does say, I do run a lot faster on the treadmill than outdoors, and it makes me feel better. Good for you. Good for you, Amy. Jeff is off. Thanks, Jeff. Catch you later. Take care, Jeff. Have a good evening. So Jeff's done his 5k and he is off, and we are now at 11 kph. So we've got 5 more kilometers to do, and we're going to go 11, 11.2, 11.4, 11.6, and we'll finish on 11.8. kilometers per hour. Paul Hayward missed that speed change, so he's catching up. Looks like Darren's putting a bit of a speed effort in. He's going at 3 minutes 36 per kilometre at the moment. Very quick. Is that about 17 kph? Let's have a look. $16.5. There's Darren, heart rate of 169, and he's running at about 16.5 towards 17 kph there, and now he's slowing down. So maybe he's doing an interval session. So we'll give Darren a ride on. Let's actually go to the top. Pasquale from Italy. I give him a ride on, and Versetti from Italy as well. Ride on for him. Domnichev from Russia. Well done to him. Paul Chapman from the UK and Chance from the USA. Oh, okay. Right, Darren says stupid, useless stride. So maybe that was the reason that Darren went off crazy speed because his stride was playing tricks on him. Right, that's ride-ons for everyone. Right, Darren's not happy about his stride. Tenta says that either way, you've all helped me so much over the last several months, from unable to even run 2 kilometres to managing 20 kilometres last weekend. So thank you. Tenta, that is absolutely amazing. Well done. Brilliant work. Nick Dumbleton has finished. He says, all done. Have a good weekend, everyone. Thanks, Nick. Take care. We'll see you soon. Wow, that is amazing. 20k last weekend, unable even to run 2 kilometres a few months ago. Brilliant. I'm so pleased for you. I love stories like that. It just makes you feel good inside. It makes, like, you know, sometimes it feels hard to get on the treadmill and do a run. And other times it feels easy. And when it feels hard, you have to remember moments like that. You have to remember times like that when either you or someone you know, someone on Zwift has done something like that. And then you think, do you know what? It is worth it. I'm going to get my backside off the sofa and get running. Leafon's injured elbow is getting better. So that's good. So, is that Tina done as well? Oh, Tina is outside all weekend, but she will be watching. So tomorrow evening we have our Paris Marathon training session, and we're upping the time again. So last week we did 1 hour 20 minutes. We're adding 5 minutes this week. So tomorrow night, 6 o'clock UK time tomorrow, we're running for 1 hour and 25 minutes as part of our Paris Marathon training. Thank you, Clive. We're speeding up. 11.2 now. With 4 kilometres to go. Oh no. Amy said this morning was a hard workout on my own. It was boring. Oh, Amy, I'm sorry. What session did you do this morning? Tomorrow, Victoria and I are going to park run, our usual visit to a park run on a Saturday morning. Tomorrow we're going to Peacehaven, which is a little town near to Brighton. So we're going there for our park run in the morning, and then tomorrow evening we'll be doing the Paris Marathon long run. Tina says, yeah, but you did it anyway, Amy, so well done, Amy. So my orange bar is slowly creeping over to level 23. Won't get there today. Might get there tomorrow night. So Amy did the Zwift Academy Run Workout 2 yesterday. Gosh, I haven't even started Zwift Academy yet. I'm going to have to do catch up, aren't I? Have I already missed Workout 1? Oh, I can do it. I can do it on my own, can't I, if I need to? Yeah, if you're late to join the Zwift Academy program, and you miss some of the group workouts, you can do them all in your workout folder. So your personal workout folder will be populated with all of the Zwift Academy runs for 2023. So don't worry if you miss one of the group workouts. You can always do it on your own when you have time, which is what I think I'm going to have to do for one or two of them, because we have a packed schedule on Zwift at the moment. Although we are now coming to the end of the Tour of Zwift, so what would have been Tour of Zwift runs may well be replaced by Zwift Academy runs. But that is yet another fast, hard workout added into the schedule, isn't it? Yeah, Tuesdays or Fridays, says Clive. Yeah, well, I might have to do them slower than written, because I don't want to do too many hard workouts. But we'll definitely get into them starting next week. Zwift Academy Run 2023, off and running from next week for me. Amy's already well into it. I know the numbers are reduced this year, and they're only taking 2 people to Berlin, but you still have a chance. Clive Finnemore has already done stage 1 short version, so Clive's off and running as well. Oh, right, okay, but you have to do the long run for it to count. Okay. Most people know far more about these things than I do. That was a nice big dip in my heart rate there. Clive says there is no baseline run this year either. Right. Preparing to speed up again in a second. For some reason, my watch thinks I'm running a lot faster than I am. Oh, I know why as well. Interesting. Yes, I've just had a software update, a firmware update on my watch, which has reset all the settings. So that's why my watch doesn't understand how fast I'm running. So hopefully at the end I'll be able to recalibrate it. Although, also, I am wearing the HRM strap, which should be transmitting what it thinks is my speed to the watch. So maybe it shouldn't be misinterpreting how fast I'm running. Clive says his heart rate is all wrong tonight. Is that from your wrist or from a chest strap, Clive? Clive, speed change? Okay, Clive's measuring heart rate from his wrist. Have you tried putting your watch on the other wrist and turning it upside down? Or putting it on the underside of your wrist? Have you tried that? You know, my little trick that I like to do. Oh, weird, okay. Huh. Actually, now, Clive, that's funny because Victoria had exactly the same issue. It should settle down. Victoria had it was too high on her left wrist, so she on her left wrist, so she swapped it to her right wrist underneath, and it was too low. But then after a little while, it did settle down. So give it a minute or two and see what happens. Right, Amy's daughter Sophie was running cross country today, and she came 15th out of 60 girls. So that is a top result. I bet she was really pleased about that, because she was worried about coming last. She said she'd be okay as long as she doesn't come last. Well, she came nowhere near last. 15th place out of 60 girls. Well done, Sophie. Brilliant. 2.5 kilometres to go of Tour of Zwift Stage 6 catch up. And once we've finished here today, Tour of Zwift will be done for this year. Clive's completed his weekly distance on Zwift. I don't think I'm going to hit that until tomorrow. Tanta says amazing. Clive says well done, Sophie. Paul Hayward says brilliant. Stig says well done, Sophie. Fantastic result. And that'll give her a lot of confidence going forward, won't it? So my watch already thinks I've done over 10 kilometres when I've done 7.6. So it's massively over-reading my speed. So I'm going to have to make sure I calibrate it when we finish the run. I hope it gives me that option. Zero to Hero, hello. I thought socks were part of the toolkit, but I don't think I got any for the completion. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, if you complete, you should get the whole kit. I think. Maybe we can have a look at that when we've finished. If somebody can remind me, I'll try and remember when we finished at the end to go into the garage and have a look at what we've got. I've got the socks in real life though. You can't see them from this camera angle, but I promise you, I have the socks on in real life. I would have liked to have the cap though. The cap would have really topped it off. Literally topped it off. Right, we're going to speed up again in a second. There's the bouncing marker up there, the kilometre marker. There's the dolphins.
Ride on!
Matheson, thank you for the ride on. And here we go. Up to 11.6 with 2 kilometres to go to the end of the run. Zero to Hero says, yeah, no biggie. I just wanted the complete set and couldn't find the socks. We'll see if we can find the socks. We'll see if they're there. Paul Hayward says, this tunnel always seems never ending. Yeah. It depends how much scenery there is. When you've got the whale, the dolphins, the manta rays, and a little bit more foliage, it's a bit prettier. This does look a bit barren at the moment, doesn't it? I quite like the sun shining through the water. You can see the sun rays. I've not really noticed that before too many times. Just behind my legs there, look. And there in front of us. The rays of sun on the left there. So you don't get that on Apple TV. That's the one thing that kind of separates the standard Zwift view from, you know, one with a high-end graphics card. right. Clive Finnemore says, actually, you do get it on Apple TV. Well, you don't get... There's lots of things you don't get with iOS and Apple TV. You know, you get shadow definition and detail on a computer that you don't get on Apple TV. But, you know, it's not a big deal. Yeah, and PC graphics are definitely smoother. Right. I can see my orange bar creeping a bit further along now. We will definitely make it, I think, to level 23 tomorrow night. By the way, Marcus Holmes is already on level 24. Ha! Okay. Right, Zero to Hero says, oh, never mind. I have now found them. The socks are pink in the menu. And yeah, Clive reminds us all, of course, that PC users don't get the auto record video recording feature yet. I can do this. Oh. Apart from... That's not quite right. Right, Clive's heart rate has now settled down to where it should be. He's at 136, I'm at 130. With just over a kilometre to go of our final tour of Zwift Run. Friday evening, live on the Zwift Run channel. Tomorrow, we'll have Chris Beale, late afternoon, doing his live stream. And then following that, I think Chris will be on tomorrow afternoon. And then following that, there'll be another live stream from ourselves doing the Zwift Paris Marathon long run. Clive Finnemore wants to go at 12 for the final kilometre. Okay, Clive, you're on. You have got it. Paul Hayward is happy with that because it's only one touch of a button for him. It's 4 touches of a button for me and Clive. Or one longish. I suppose you could keep the paddle up. That would just be one long touch. Not that long either. Right. Here we go. There's the marker up ahead. Here we go, up to 12 now for the final kilometre. 5 minutes and we'll be done. Hope you have a great weekend, everyone. Get yourselves out there, enjoy some sunshine, enjoy a walk, some fresh air, get some exercise outdoors, and then come and join us in the evening for the Paris Marathon long run, or for Chris Beale's live stream as well. At 12 kilometres on my watch now. That software update really did wipe everything, didn't it? By the way, anyone still watching, has the microphone been okay tonight? Can you confirm that the sound from the microphone has been acceptable this evening, please? Because you know we've had some problems. I've just bought a new mic, so... New mic is much better, thank you, Clive. Microphone has been good, says Amy. Mic is good, says Paul. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm sure it was my previous mic, just must have died for some reason. Minutes to go. 600 meters. Tenta says the mic sounds good. He's playing this through the living room TV, so that's good to hear. Literally good to hear. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching and taking part. Appreciate that. Thanks for joining me. Back tomorrow, and then we'll have a rest on Sunday. I don't know if Clive is going to be running on Sunday. Clive will definitely be running on Monday, doing the MHG lunchtime run. If you want to join Clive at lunchtime on Monday, that's lunchtime UK, of course. And then in the evening, there is the Monday community run, which again, Clive will be live streaming, I think. Usually does. So Clive will be live on Monday, and I'll be back on Tuesday. But before that, yeah, we've got the Paris Marathon long run tomorrow evening. Amy is planning on joining us tomorrow evening. Thank you, Amy. Anyone else, more than welcome. You don't have to stay for the whole run. Just stay for 5k, 10k, half an hour. Just do an hour. We'll be there for an hour and 25 minutes. Tenta says, my neighbours must be big fans by now. Great run, inspiring as always. Have a great weekend. Yeah, same to you, Tenta. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And that is the Tour of Zwift done. Well, 1 minute to go. Clive says, well done, you lot. Paul says, fun and custard. Random. Been a good run, enjoyed that. Glad we did it slightly progressive. Fun and custard, done and dusted. Very good. Oh, it must be, is it slightly shorter than 10 then? No, maybe not. 20 seconds. Anthony says, yeah, all good for me. I think he means the microphone. And that's 10 kilometers. That was a bit strange. It wasn't quite 10 kilometers for the run itself. Although that's probably just the Zwift bug, isn't it? That's the Zwift bug, I think. Okay, so that's us done. Now let me go and have a little quick look. Clive says, thank you, Stephen. Have a good weekend, everyone. See you all next time. Anthony Anderson is off for dinner. Have a good weekend all. Thank you very much, guys. Right, let's just have a very quick look. So we got the... why are we on that? Have we been on that screen for ages? Right, anyway, okay. No, we don't want that. We want the menu. Oh, yes, we do. What am I talking about? And we want the garage. Right, let's just double check the socks. So... is that then? No, Tour de Zwift 2022. Pink dots. Locked. There you go. Tour of Zwift 2023 socks are there. Pride 2022. What's this one? Tour of Makuri Islands. Alpine socks. When did I get those? Oh, that was for the Lederhosen. run, wasn't it? Yeah, when we got the lederhosen. So those are the socks for the Tour of Zwift. But actually, when you mouse over them, when you click it, it becomes those socks. Look. So that's interesting. Look. So they're not pink, they are actually the Tour of Zwift socks. But they're just in pink on the garage here. I wonder why that is. That's very strange. Okay, well there you go. So that's that. Just wear the white socks, why not? The shorts. Is that them? Tour of Zwift. There's the Tour of Zwift shorts. 2023. I'm just going to wear my white shorts. And then if you want the top, we should have the top now as well. There we go. There's our 2023 Tour of Zwift top there. But I'm going to carry on wearing my orange level 22 singlet. So it's all good. We are done here. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow evening for Paris Marathon long run, 1 hour 25. Don't be frightened. Come and join us just for a little bit if you want to. You don't have to stay for the whole thing, or come and join us for the whole thing. See you tomorrow. Tenta says it's not a bug, it's a feature. Yes. It's a... we will all keep trying to believe that. We will all keep trying to believe that. Amy says, great running. Thank you for the stream. See you tomorrow. Paul says, thanks, Stephen. See you tomorrow. Yeah. Take care, everyone. Good night. Bye-bye.